So we're really excited tonight. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that everybody's kind of aware of what's going on within these testimonies tonight. And what I'd like to do, I'd like for you to kind of just not just sit back and listen to what these testimonies are, although they're going to be phenomenal. You're going to really enjoy them. But as you're listening to it, I want you to think about what is it that's unique about their testimony? What is it that they're sharing? And do you have anything similar to that? Or do you know anybody who has things similar to that? Because when you realize the significance of what these few products are doing to literally change people's lives, you're going to notice a couple of key things. You're going to notice a essence of consistency and persistency, and yet doubt and concern as well. So listen to all that as we're kind of going through tonight. Hear the testimonies, understand the potential and the potentiation of what we really have our hands on. Because if you're in a position like I am as a physician and being able to see all the research and literally watch thousands of people's lives change, you would get excited and you would care about yourself first and then the people that you love around you. So tonight, we're fortunate that we have a very unique, qualified person to be our MC tonight, Ms. Kylie. And I want you just to understand that this gal brings a lot to the table, and she is bubbly, she's full of joy, and she's just exciting. So with that, Ms. Kylie, I'm going to turn it over to you. Take it away, young lady.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. We are so excited that you're here tonight joining us on the Winner's Circle. I have to tell you, the last several months that I've been part of this company, these have been the highlight of my week. I absolutely love tuning in and being here. So just be grateful for what you're about to hear tonight. I will tell you that we have an incredible lineup. So I encourage you all, just whether this is your first time tuning into a call like this or you're addicted, right? You're getting on these every single week. Trust me when I say it's something new every time. You're always going to hear some incredible testimonies. And so I'm going to go back just really quickly as we get ready to get started. So when I first jumped into this company, it was the summer and I was getting ready to go on a family vacation. I didn't even know what the Winner's Circle was. And I remember I was at the airport and our team chat was just going crazy. I mean, people were going wild and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I'm missing something. And I'm looking at the chat and everyone was going wild over the testimonies that were being shared. And I will tell you, in July of 2025, my belief went through the roof around these products, specifically Fix, okay? And so those of you that have been around the MPG world over the past week, you know that it is rare. I'm just going to let you know, in my history, in my industry experience, I've been a part of the industry for 11 years. It is rare to see lightning strike in a company more than once. And I truly do believe that we are seeing that unfold right in front of our eyes, okay? So we launched Fix not even 2 years ago, and the testimonies that continue to roll in every single day blow me away. You're going to hear some of those tonight. But as of this past week, we also just launched a second incredible product. Now, here at MPG, we have lots of amazing products, but tonight we're going to focus on a couple of these new heroes, if you will. So, Vericel, if you're excited about Vericel, go ahead and give me some like spirit fingers from home. I can't see you, but I can feel it. Okay. I'm just letting you know I'm beyond excited about the launch of this product. So, you're going to hear some powerful, powerful stories tonight. So we're going to get right on into it, y'all. How blessed are we? How grateful are you to be part of this right here, right now? I was talking to my team the other day and I said, many of you, this was on Friday as we launched Vericel, I said, many of you are going to remember today as a day that changed everything. But it's up to you to do something about that, whether you remember it or not. So hang tight, y'all. We're going to bring on our first testimony. Miss Rose, can you go ahead and unmute and share with us what these incredible products have done for you, girl? Take it away.
That was perfect. Lightning striking twice. And I right there, I'm going to say hands down that I 100% agree with you. I got my hands on the Fix drops a year and a couple weeks ago. I actually saw a sweet friend of mine, Lisa, post something on social media, and all that she said on it was these help to activate the vagus nerve. When I saw that, I immediately knew it was something that I needed because I'm really familiar with what the vagus nerve does. Now, if you aren't, that's okay. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I was in a season of my life where I was extremely stressed out. I was burnt out, overwhelmed, exhausted. In addition to that, we were moving from state to state from Alabama to Tennessee. I am a mom of now 9. I was pregnant with baby number 9. So got approved by my physician to actually start taking the drops. There were 3 reasons I wanted to actually get a hold of these drops. The first one was my stress was through the roof. I was on my fight or flight was so intense to the point where I felt like I was going in and out of crying spells to feeling just completely exhausted and stressed out all over the place. Anything that happened set me off, and that is not normal for me at all. People that know me, I'm usually a happy person and I'm speaking life into everybody everywhere, but it was hard for me in this particular season to speak life back into myself. So that was the first main reason that I wanted to get these drops in my body. The second reason was because I was pregnant, I have a history of having issues with inflammation in my body, blood pressure going all over the place during pregnancy, and my blood sugars going all over the place. Now, again, this is not to treat, cure, diagnose anything. I just want to share my story with you. And again, my doctor was actually pretty impressed with these drops. And so what I noticed from day 3 of taking the drops, got a hold of them, I actually felt like my nervous system started to calm down. Well, what do I mean by that? I actually felt like from going from being extremely tensed up, emotions all over the place, to actually feeling relaxed, like my shoulders could actually be let down. I'm going to get emotional saying this because when I talk about it, the amount of stress that I was in, I actually didn't realize how bad it was until I look back, okay, at that season of my life. And I'm so grateful that Lisa was bold enough to share these drops because my life literally changed in that season. Now, the cool thing about this is throughout my entire pregnancy, I was doing lab work and getting my vitals taken. It was so mind blowing to see how my body adjusted the entire time. Not once did I have any issues with my blood sugar. Not once did I have any issues with my blood pressure or inflammation. My body was actually regulating the entire time, which is not normal for me. Okay. So it was very apparent that the only thing I changed in this pregnancy from all the other pregnancies was adding on these drops. Now, for any woman who is out there, when your hormones are all over the place, now these drops are for men as well, but I'm going to speak to the ladies. When your hormones are all over the place and you're having hot flashes and you have mood swings and you're crying and 1 minute and the next minute you're happy, but yet you're feeling like the world is on your shoulders, having that removed, okay, because these drops are helping your body balance so much. I was able to show up as a better wife, as a better mom. I was extra productive in my daily activities. And I'll tell you right now that I praise God for that. Now, I also got to get my hands on Vericel, which is what you were talking about, Kylie, this amazing product that we just all got access to. And I kid you not, I had no idea what to expect. I just knew I was on the trials for this, and my job was just to report back and say what I experienced. Month 2, I literally said, I feel like I'm actually aging backwards. My joints aren't hurting anymore. I'm able to walk up and down the hill on my land, which is not normal for me. That pulling on the bottom of my foot, that agony pulling that had been bothering me for 7 months, was completely gone. And I was able to get up and down off the floor with my baby without having to do that cat crawl where you're trying to really stabilize yourself before you get up. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you know what I'm talking about. I'm able to actually stand up without assistance. I'm able to walk around up and down on my land without being in discomfort the whole next day. So when I say that my life has changed, I mean it. When you feel better in your own mind and in your own body, you show up as a different person. So I'm forever grateful for these products. Fast forward, you can only imagine how I share them with the world. I think that everybody needs to be on them. So that's my story, and it is just the beginning.
Oh my gosh, Rose. I love every part of your story. I will never forget the first time that you shared a little bit of this with me. You held up like 100 pill bottles and you were like, this is all I was taking before. And to go from such a complex, not only complex, but expensive routine to
Mhm.
simplifying the way that you have. I mean, how could you shut up about that, right? Like,
Right, exactly.
I mean, what do you typically, how do you share this with other people? What do you typically, lead with? Are you listening for, I mean, I feel like I was a hairstylist for 10 years, and I always say the minute people would sit down in my chair, they had a complaint. Not about me, thank God, but it was usually about things that they were dealing with. So, I mean, you've been in ministry for a very long time. I mean, when we talk fight or flight, my gosh, like the amount of people that are struggling with that even right now. What
Right.
what do you typically say to people just to, basically share your story?
It's a very simple question, and you're right. If you just listen to people, I just said this earlier today to when I was on a call with someone. If you just listen, you will hear people complain. People just naturally complain because many people, okay, are overwhelmed, stressed out, having some sort of issue in their health, and they're going to talk about it, whether they're meaning to intentionally complain about it or it's just something that they've just experienced for so long. It just naturally comes out of them. My one question that I ask is, are you familiar with MHE3?
Yeah.
That's it. And they're like, no, what is that? Oh my goodness. When I got my hands on this and I just share a little bit of my story, people are mind blown by it. People are praying for a solution. I was praying, Kylie. I was praying for a solution, not just for my finances, because let me just say what a blessing this has been, right? As an additional stream of income. But in that season, I was praying for my mental health. I
Yeah.
was praying, right, to not feel that exhaustion, overwhelm, and stress all day long.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved a piece of the story that you shared when you were beta testing Vericel specifically. So I was part of that beta test group as well. You talked about aging backwards. I actually had called Byron and I was like, you guys keep in mind when we first got Vericel, we knew nothing about it other than what was on the label. I mean, it was kind of like, my little kids, they open up the mystery gifts. They love to find the surprise, and that's really how it felt. I was like, immunity, I don't know. Like, I really didn't even know what to expect. And I told Byron the same thing. I said, Byron, like, I woke up and looked in the mirror and shocked myself. Like, something was going on with my face. And then I started to notice things in, I mean, I personally was having tons of eczema flare-ups, like next level. I go to like a hot Pilates class and I was thinking I was going to have to quit because the moisture and the air and everything, it was just killing me. And literally it was so fast that I felt normal again. And I was like, is this a beauty product? Like, what in the world is this? Like, I don't even know what I'm taking, but we just keep hearing story after story after story. And so thank you so much, Rose, for sharing tonight. All right, you guys, we're going to move on to our next person, Carissa. Carissa, can you unmute and open up and share what these products have done for you? Take it away, girl.
Hello. So I am Carissa Glorioso. I'm from Lima, Ohio. I have Meniere's disease. So I'm 45 years old. I've had Meniere's disease now probably, I don't know, probably a good 25 years. For those of you that don't know what it is, it's an inner ear disease. So it affects my balance. So sometimes I have vertigo. It also affects my hearing. So it was about 18 years ago, I lost all of my hearing in my left ear. I hear supersonic out of my right, but I could not hear very well or at all, really, out of my left ear. So I've been actually taking Fix now for about 7 months. So Julie brought them into my life. So it's about 7 months ago. So when I started them, it was about, I would say, probably less than a week in. So with the Meniere's, it is sometimes really hard to get out of bed. So I am a part-time mammographer. So I do x-rays and mammography. But on my days off, like my husband would get up to go to work, and it was all I could do to get myself motivated. A lot of times it was hard to even get motivated to go into work. So it's just it throws your balance off. So I mean, lots and lots of bad days. So I started the product, like I said, about 7 months ago, and about a week in, I was finding that instead of rolling over to want to go back to sleep, like I was ready for my feet to hit the floor. Like I was just like, okay, like I have energy, like my balance is a little bit better. I mean, it wasn't overnight or anything, but I was just like, okay, like slowly it was starting to progress and get better. So fast forward to about between 2 and 3 months on the drops. I roll over in bed and I cannot hear out of the left ear. So I have a tendency to sleep on my left side because I have twins, and just with them growing up, I always wanted to be able to hear them if they got up in the middle of the night. So it just became a habit to sleep on my left side. But when I'm laying in bed and I'm watching TV at night, it's my right ear because that's where my TV is positioned. And I'm always telling my husband, can you crank that TV up? I can't hear it. So it was about 2 to 3 months in, and I rolled over and I was like, I can hear the TV. So I was just like, this has got to be a joke, right? Like it was crazy. So I was just like, I looked at my husband and I was like, I'm hearing out of my left ear, but I'm like, do not get too excited. Like, this is crazy. And then slowly I was starting to hear things that I had not heard in the past, like sirens and just different things. And I'm like, by George, I have my hearing back. So it was kind of scary at first. I'm not going to lie, because I am just so used to not hearing. So when I started to hear out of it. It was kind of a shock. So that is kind of my story. My hearing is better. My balance is better. So the drops have they've been a godsend for sure. So thank you, Julie, for sharing those drops with me, because she was like, not going to give up. And I love that. And that's kind of me going forward. It's like when that happened, I'm just like, I want to scream this from the mountaintop to people. So so here I am. So loving it. So that's my story.
Oh my goodness, girl. That is incredible. This is the thing I think around a lot of these products, especially Fix. When we talk about that, typically when we start taking Fix, we don't necessarily feel something. So it's not uncommon that somebody might think, oh, is this placebo? Like, do I just kind of think I'm feeling better? But to have an experience like what you had, you can't deny it. It's like, okay, like I didn't hear, now I hear. Like when you told me that the other day, I was just like, wait, what? Like, what? Oh my goodness. That is so
slow
incredible.
process, but I was just like, please do not let me lose this. So it was like the sirens and stuff, just things that I couldn't. I mean, like I said, I could hear really good out of my right ear, but my left ear, I just didn't have that. And doctors told me like I would probably never get that hearing back. So for me, I was just like, oh, wow. Powerful, very powerful. And I don't take medicines. I'm just not a good medicine taker, but these drops, I'm not going without, that's for sure.
You mentioned, Carissa, that you were on it how long before you noticed the hearing shift?
It was about 2 to 3 months. So
in
between that, like I said, I was seeing like small improvements, but the hearing that like really like I said, I just rolled over in bed and I was like, wait a minute, I don't have to have him turn this up. And then it's it's progressively, like I said, it's getting better, but I think it's more that I'm just getting used to having that. So
yeah, that's incredible. Doc Bowers, do you mind coming on really quick and just sharing like what was happening there at that 2 to 3 month mark? Like, because I know a lot of times, I mean, especially in the wellness world, everybody wants instant gratification, right? And we talk about really creating this expectation. The longer you stay on this, the better it is. So for the people out there that aren't sure, is it going to take me a month, 2 months, 3 months? Can you just briefly explain what was going on there?
Thanks, Callie. First of all, I'm fortunate that we've watched and monitored over 1,000 different patients and people that are on this product, right? And to Carissa's effect, majority of people are either going to do one of two things. We're either going to see immediate results, like we saw with Rose and some of these things within a few days, all right? And we found about 18% of the people would have something almost immediate, right? And then about 60% of them, it seemed to take somewhere between 8 to 12 weeks before we started seeing something more dramatically changed, right? Then we found those that it took longer than 4 to 6 months before they saw seeing some changes. Now, just so everybody has an understanding, on all these patients and clients, over 1,000 that we actually monitored and measured, we went through all types of things: blood, urine, saliva, a stool, even their DNA. All right, we had all those factors, and we watched them over a year and a half's time frame. Right now, for me as a physician, Carissa, and by the way, Carissa, I had Meniere's about 30 years ago. I understand what that is. And when I first heard that story, I'm like, okay, Lord, I know what's coming. I know what's coming. And the fact that the drops themselves have fixed, these MHC3 drops, when they start connecting things again and reducing the inflammatory issue in there, all of a sudden the God-given creative ability of that body says, wait a minute, this isn't right. This isn't normal. If we clean this up and get these things to come back around, we're going to see some changes. And I just want to reiterate to people, this isn't magic, right? This is God's creative ability to, if we give it the right stuff that God created, we can turn on the natural ability of that body to do its God-given thing. And I'm going to say this one statement, Kyle, I'm going to turn it back over to you, but we actually watched and measured and monitored all these people, and we identified over 70 different types of reactions in 96 different body types, right? So when we try this product, this isn't something you try for a week or two, or in this case, even a month or two. In fact, majority of the people, it took more than 60 to 90 days before they felt something. Now, the interesting thing is most people didn't realize what they were getting better at. In Carissa's case, miraculous, almost like, wait a minute, like she said, is this a joke? This isn't real. Most people don't see their sleep getting better, their energy getting better, their bowels getting better, their thought process getting better. And as Kylie talked about, even the skin getting better. All those factors are there. And what I have determined in all these people is that the greater the problem, the quicker a result will come, number one. Or number two, the longer it takes, because the body's going to go out and fix a bunch of other things. There's over 1,100 different points, communication points or data points that we talk about in Fix Alone. Then when you put Vericel with that, now that power is 10 to 20 times faster, and it's amazing what it does. And I will tell you that I've had 40 years experience with certain components that are in the Vericel product, and we know what that is going to do. So Kylie, with that, I'm turning back over to you, young lady.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you, Carissa, for sharing as well. That was awesome. All right, you guys, we've got another person that's going to come on. Lisa, can you unmute, turn on your camera, sister, and tell us, oh my gosh, you've got quite the testimony, girl. We're excited to hear it.
Okay, so hi everybody, I'm Lisa, and I told Kylie I was going to talk about Emulin tonight, and she's like, oh, that sounds boring. And I'm like, well, listen, because I thought so too. I was one of those people who are like, I'm never going to take Emulin because it just doesn't sound fun. And so long story short, I have a torn labrum in my shoulder. I am telling this story because I know a lot of you guys watching this are going through the same thing. So a lot of shoulder pain, and I had the MRI, and they said, I said, I don't want surgery. I'm one of those people. And they told me, you could go through physical therapy and we'll give you a cortisone shot. So that's what we did the shot. I went through a full round of physical therapy. At the end of the session, nothing felt better. I actually felt worse. So I went back in, and they gave me another shot, and I went through a complete whole new round of physical therapy. Now, in the meantime, I lost all ability to put pressure on my head. So it's this arm here. I couldn't take a shower and wash my hair anymore. I couldn't dry my back off anymore. I couldn't do any kind of external rotation with my hand at all. I couldn't open and shut my door with my left hand anymore. Oh gosh, what else? There's like a million. Oh, exercising. So I had to stop exercising. I mean, it's been a very long time. I just recently started, but I couldn't even go walking anymore because if I did, it felt like it was loose and that my whole shoulder felt like it was popping out of the socket. It was pretty freaky. So I went back in and we went through all that again. And they said, you should probably consider surgery. And I am that person who I don't like to take any meds and I don't want to have surgery. I'm 48 and I've heard nothing good about it. And I thought if I could just start to do like little physical movements, maybe I could build it back. Someone reached out to me and told me to start taking Emulin and to take a good dose of it. I didn't even know what the dose was, but I started taking 3 capsules 3 times a day religiously. And I walked into the bedroom. This is short of 2 weeks. And I looked at my husband and I said, Blake, check it out. And I put my arm up to the side. Like, this is like something I could not do forever. I can now like watch. It started getting better slowly. Okay. That was February when I started taking it, very beginning of February. And he's like, okay. I mean, he was actually putting on my coats for me, which the guys should anyway. But anyway, he had to put on my shirts, help me, it sucked. And so it started getting much better, much better. I have continued to take it. And now I could do so many things. I started working out again. I can jog, I can walk. I don't feel like it's falling out. Now, since that's in my system, and I don't know if this is how it works because I'm not a scientific girl at all, but I also have a low back problem. I do have a bulging disc, and I've had it for 30 years. And every so often, my back will go out, and I've never been able to walk until day 3 at least. Never. Of every time I've went, and this time it went out on Tuesday night. I was trying to work out, and I ended up flat outside. My husband had to carry me in and carry me upstairs. Okay, that was in the evening. I'd started taking Varicel, 3 weeks ago, twice a day. And someone called me, Janet was like, Lisa, saturate your body in Varicel. I'm like, okay. So here I am taking 3 capsules of Emulin 3 times a day, and I'm taking Varicel 3 times a day. You guys, the next day, I was able to walk around. My husband went to work. I didn't need help walking. I wasn't walking pretty, but I was walking. By day 2, I was standing up. I spent the whole day. I walked 6,000 steps that day. Day 3, I got adjusted. And after that, you guys, I've been doing 10,000 steps again. I feel so freaking good. I'm ready to start lifting again. Like, I can't not believe. And the only thing I could think of is that having that in my system, maybe leading up to that point, helped me come through all that. I don't know. But anyway, that's my story. I think like this whole movement thing, this is a blessing because I couldn't sleep anymore. I couldn't sleep on the arm. If I slept off of it, it would just hang weird and it hurt. So I am feeling so dang good. Y'all need to get it.
Oh my goodness. So you guys, Lisa and I have known each other for, what's it been like 11 years? I don't know. It's like
A long time.
We both got our start together in this industry. I think you had a little bit of prior experience, but y'all look at it. This is what she posted. Okay. I had to pull up the picture. I know this woman is a worker outer. Okay. Like she loves to hit the gym. And I've watched this journey that you've gone through for so long. Every time I would talk to you, you had something going on. You were going into an appointment. Like this is massive for you. And I mean, when you think about this though, when you are the type of person, like I always say, like I share a little bit of my life with everybody that I meet, it seems. I mean, I'm just a connector as you are as well. Like when people have followed along that journey and then they see a shift, they hear something what Lisa or Rose or Carissa shared, you guys, it is not tough to go out there and sell people on a product because you're literally just sharing a testimony. I mean, I always think that every time I listen to these calls, I'm like, I don't have Lisa's story. I don't have Rose's story. I definitely don't have Carissa's story. But literally, the night after I heard Carissa's testimony just this week, I heard someone else that it would help. And so, who are you thinking of right now? I mean, Lisa, how many times have you been in that position? My goodness, girl. Too many.
Too many. Way too many.
And Blake, of course, opportunist, right? That's how my husband would be too. It's a real thing. You guys, this is incredible. I'm just so excited to be here for it. So we have one more incredible story for you to hear tonight. Actually, Julie and I got connected a little over, I don't know, 2, maybe 3, probably about 2 years ago. And this woman just blows my mind. Her experience in the industry, she is quite legendary in my opinion and the opinion of others, I would say. But Julie, you can go ahead and bring on your camera. She jumped on one of our team calls last week and was sharing as we were getting ready to launch Varicel. And I think we were all running laps around the living room. We were so excited listening to her share her perspective with her experience in the industry. So Julie, take it away, girl.
I will do that. Thank you so much, Kylie. And Lisa, Carissa, Rose, absolutely loved listening to your testimonials. So what I'd like to do today is just kind of share with you an interesting perspective. So just a little bit about my background. I actually spent I've got 36 years experience in this space. So 21 of those years, I built businesses in the field. So I built some very large sales organizations. And that was, like I said, over a 21-year period. And then from there, I actually stepped on the corporate side of things. So for 15 years then, I worked in field development, in sales, for different companies, different direct selling companies, very well-known, very large companies that have been around for a long time. And so that perspective, what I did for them, I was a trainer, I was a business coach, but it gave me a really good inside look to these different companies. And so what I want to share with you today is really the perspective of what we actually have our hands on here at Marketplace Global. So here's something that just kind of struck me right away from the very beginning. This company is only 3.5 years old. Well, we're pushing 4 years right now. But what you've got to understand is 7 millionaires have already been created in a 3.5 year time period. That is unheard of in this space. And so I think maybe you might be thinking this is just an everyday thing, but what you don't understand is no, that does not happen. So here's something that is a good takeaway for you. One of the companies that I worked for is 46 years old, okay? I guarantee you every single person listening to this probably has their product in your home right now. In that 46-year time period, they had one person in the field who was earning over $1 million annually. One in 46 years. Then a couple other companies, one of them 23 years old, another one 21 years old. Do you know how many millionaires they had? 0. Okay. Highest income earner at those companies wasn't even earning $400,000 a year. Okay, so do you get where I'm going with this? Most companies go out of business before they hit the 5-year mark. We're at 3.5, pushing 4. We experienced 400% growth between 2024 and 2025. That doesn't happen either. For companies that I worked with, if they had 3% or 10% growth, they would be ecstatic. They were thinking, hey, as long as there's not decline, we're thrilled. Now, this company is doing what has never been done before in this industry. And I personally feel like we've got zero competition because what we offer here. We are disrupting this industry right now. Why? Because it's simple to build an income stream. There's systems in place that support you. We've got an incredible culture of integrity. And the leadership at this company is a group of people who work for us and they understand the peer-to-peer commerce space. Don't even get me started on the products. The 3 ladies that just shared their testimony shared what it was doing for them. The products work and they claim that they do what they claim they're going to do. So when I saw Marketplace Global, I've been here for about 8 months, okay? When I saw this company, I saw a long-term legacy. And so working here, I don't feel like I'm in any kind of race. I'm here for the long run because that's what we have our hands on. This is the opportunity that people in the direct selling space hope for. This is the opportunity that my 21 years in the field and my 15 years working on the corporate side, I prayed to be part of a company like this. So I really want you to realize what you have your hands on. We offer people the opportunity to benefit from timing and positioning at the forefront of massive growth. Think about it. Everyone needs what we have to offer. Now, another thing that I want to share with you is how MPG is so quick to move. A lot of times when you're within, getting the inside look of a direct selling company, They think of an idea, and then they go through several internal meetings, and then there's all this red tape, and then they take all these surveys, and they've got these discussions, and then they hire all these outside consultants to try to figure out how they could do it. Long story short, it's a very long process until things are rolled out to the field, different tools and support. MPG, the leaders here, they dream it, they create a plan, and it immediately goes into action like nothing I have ever seen or experienced ever. And the company, they reinvest their profits back into the field. Look we've got this amazing MPG Plus app. It absolutely blows me away, the tools that we have here. When I saw the compensation plan here, and trust me, I've seen a lot of compensation plans. I taught sales reps how to be successful to build businesses within all of those plans. But when I saw the Marketplace Global Compensation Plan, I knew immediately that this is the company where I was going to plant my flag, and I knew that I would build the biggest business that I'd ever built in my entire career. That is what you have your hands on. Okay, here at this company with our compensation plan, you are paid for your efforts. It's absolutely outstanding. You're not counting heads on your team, hoping your team members are going to be active. Okay, the way the plan is set up is wonderful. Now, why does it work here? It's because it's simple. We've got the systems, we've got the product, the leadership, and the culture. We are peer-to-peer commerce, and it is at its very best. You can operate your entire business from your phone, and I believe that people recognize the power of what we have our hands on. And the other thing is, people are open to looking at ways to add income to their financial situation. Okay, independent sales reps here are winning. Okay, this is all why it works here. And what we all have our hands on, we're at the forefront of massive growth. And each one of us has the opportunity to ride the wave of momentum that is being created with the products that we have here. Fix and Vericel, you blend those two together, and this is completely unstoppable. 80% of people have chronic health issues. Okay, and an equal amount of people have financial stress. And we've got a company that is kingdom centered, and they 100% have their act together. So when you take all of those things, we're on the forefront of growth. Our products, we have what people need from a product and income standpoint, and we've got this amazing company to back us up. This is the perfect storm for success. Trust me, you are in the right place at the right time with the right company. So I'm going to say with you today, do not wait to start building. Don't wait. Don't say to yourself, you know what? I'm going to reach out to somebody tomorrow. Do it now, because every single day you wait, somebody else is talking to the people on your list. All right. This is your moment. So don't hesitate, because you're going to miss it if you hesitate. This is the opportunity that you've prayed for. So your mindset has to shift from, I hope this works, to, I will make this work. And here's the thing. No one is going to build this for you. You have to decide that you're going to build this. And I want you to just pause for a second and really see it. What I want you to see is the life that you've been dreaming about, the freedom that is within your hands, the impact that you can make, the version of you that you know you're capable of becoming. And then ask yourself, what am I going to do this week to move closer to that life? You've got to be intentional. You've got to make your list of what you're going to accomplish every single day and check it off. Show up with purpose, because hoping, it's not going to change your life. Action will. And thinking about your business is not working your business. Okay, let me say that again. Thinking about your business is not working your business. And that's because execution is what separates the ones who wish from the ones who win. So this is your moment right here, right now. So what I'm going to say to all of you as we wrap it up tonight is let's go all in. Make it a great week, everyone, and we'll see you next week on The Winner's Edge. Bye, everyone.